Today we're going to continue in Chapter 8 and we're going to talk about formulas. As we're going through these formulas, we are going to use some of the different things that we've used before. We are going to be using our order of operations. We're going to be using some of our sign rules. And as we're going through these, we're going to focus on kind of three different types of problems. So first we're going to start with just some miscellaneous formula problems. So when thinking about mathematics, there are a ton of formulas that we use. So whether we're thinking about general math problems, whether we're thinking about statistics, geometry, we can run into and we can see a bunch of different types of formulas just in the area of mathematics. As we go outside of mathematics, into physics, other sciences, nursing, carpentry, sports, and a whole bunch of other business, economic related areas, we definitely see formulas in our real world. So what we're going to look at and what we're going to start with are some examples of just miscellaneous type formulas that we could see. So in this first example, we're going to evaluate each formula using the given replacement values. So notice that we may have more than one variable that we are plugging in values for. We want to make sure that we are just plugging them in carefully and evaluating them carefully using our order of operations. One thing to mention before we get started is that if we have negative numbers, right, we want to make sure we use parentheses when plugging in negative numbers. Right? We're not necessarily going to run into it in this very first immediate example, but we will see it at least when we get to example 1c. All right, so in example 1a, we have P equals 2W plus 2L. This is one variation of our formula for perimeter of a rectangle. So we're going to say P equals 2 times, right? 2W means we're taking 2 times W. So we're going to do 2 times 8 plus 2 times L, 2 times 5. 2 times 8 is 16. 2 times 5 is 10. We add the 2, 16 plus 10 gives us a total of 26. Knowing what we do about perimeter, we can label this one in inches. Not necessarily going to be relevant for all the problems that we're going to run into, but in this case we can kind of nicely label it to finish off this problem. All right, for B, A equals the square root of C squared minus B squared. This formula is related to our Pythagorean theorem for right triangles. Right? So A equals, right, inside our square root, C squared is 5. So we're going to do 5 squared minus B squared is 3. So minus 3 squared. We're going to evaluate what we have in here. 5 squared is 25. 3 squared is 9. Now we're going to subtract. 25 minus 9 gives us 16. Our square root of 16 gives us 4. So our missing value, our A in this case, is 4. Right, so for C, again, this is another math formula. There are definitely other different types of miscellaneous formulas you're going to run into in your homework. But in this case, we've got another formula. This is our slope formula. Notice that some of our replacement values here are negative. So when we're plugging them in, we're going to use our little tip from above, and we're going to make sure we use parentheses when we're plugging in these negative numbers. All right, so M equals, all right, Y is 4, and then we have a minus sign in our formula. Q is negative 8, so we're going to put a negative 8 up here. And then down in the bottom we have X. X is negative 3 minus P, which is 1. Right, up top then, right, this 4 minus 8, right, is going to turn into a 4 plus 8. Right, that is going to give us a 12. Negative 3 minus 1, these are the same sign, so we add. Right, they're both negative, so it stays negative. So we have 12 divided by negative 4. 12 divided by negative 4 gives us a result of 3. So as we're going through these different problems, use your order of operations as they apply. Use your sign rules for either addition, subtraction, or multiplication as those apply as well. Again, these different rules and these different ideas and these different formulas. Right here we've seen examples of a few math-related formulas, but we can see a variety of different formulas as we're going through. In the next few examples, we're going to focus on specifically a couple of mathematical formulas that are commonly used for us.